Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we are diving into, well, a really big topic. It's deeply personal for, gosh, half the population,
Yeah.
but still often feels kind of confusing or like something we don't talk about enough.
Definitely.
We're talking about that phase of life for women, say 40 and older, defined by these huge hormonal shifts. If you're, suddenly getting those intense hot flashes, you can't sleep, feeling irritable all the time. Maybe just looking in the mirror and thinking, who is that?
Well,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And the usual story is, oh, it's all downhill from here, decline. But the sources we looked at, they offer this really powerful, almost revolutionary reframing.
Okay.
It's not an ending. It's more like a biological and psychological reboot, a phase of revolution, one source calls it.
A revolution, I like that.
Yeah. The goal here is clarity. Let's swap that feeling of just, hormonal chaos for a practical roadmap. It can genuinely be a time of victory, vitality, and vigor. We want to give you the science behind why you feel this way and the actual strategy to become, well, you 2.0.
You 2.0. That sounds promising. But let's be real, for a lot of women, it feels more like a complete system meltdown before anything close to a breakthrough.
Oh, for sure. It can be rough.
So let's tackle that first big hurdle. Why does it feel like you're losing your mind sometimes? Let's trade that confusion for some actual, concrete physiology.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the hormones going wild.
Right. It is so crucial to get this. If you suddenly burst into tears watching a sad commercial or feel this intense rage over something tiny, or you're sweating buckets in a cold room, it is not madness.
It feels like it, though.
I know, but it's pure physiology. Your body is going through this massive transition, and it can last, believe it or not, up to 10 years before actual menopause.
10 years, wow.
Yeah, that whole perimenopause phase. Menopause itself is just the point where you've gone 12 straight months without a period.
Okay, and there's this great analogy in the material, like the body is usually this perfectly tuned hormonal orchestra.
Right, everything working in harmony.
But during this transition, the conductor, the maestro, just walks off stage.
Yeah.
And that maestro is estrogen.
Precisely. And when estrogen starts making its unpredictable exit, the other hormones, they sort of start playing out of tune. It gets messy.
And estrogen isn't just about periods and babies, is it?
Not at all. It's huge. It regulates something like over 400 different functions in the body: bone health, heart health, skin, mood, brain function, you name it.
Okay, the brain function part is fascinating. We always hear about hot flashes. But the cognitive stuff, the brain fog, the mood swings, that's staggering.
Absolutely. Estrogen is a major neuroprotector. Think of it like a safety net for your brain. When those levels drop erratically, that net gets shaky.
So that explains the losing your mind feeling.
It does. Research even links this drop to a higher risk for things like Alzheimer's down the line. But in the short term, that mood instability, the sudden irritability or feeling low, it's chemical. Less estrogen means fewer serotonin receptors get activated in your brain. Serotonin is your feel-good chemical, so you get less of that happy signal, leading to, well, up to a 60% higher risk of mild depression or just feeling constantly irritable during this time.
60%. Okay, that makes so much sense. It's not just being hormonal in a dismissive way.
No, it's a real biochemical shift. And then you've got progesterone. Think of that one as your body's natural chill pill. It's calming agent.
The calmer.
Yeah. So when that drops, you lose that sense of stability. And crucially, you lose deep restorative sleep.
Oh, the insomnia, yes.
Yeah.
That feeling like absolutely everything gets on your nerves.
That's the sound of your progesterone tank running low. And the sleep disruption is massive. Progesterone helps you stay asleep, waking up multiple times a night. Often it's this decline talking.
Is there anything that helps with that specifically?
Well, connecting it back to the science, one study found that supplementing with a specific form, micronized progesterone, actually cut down those nighttime awakenings by 45% in just 3 months.
45%. That's significant.
It really is. It shows there are targeted ways to get some relief, to get back towards sanity.
Okay. Estrogen, progesterone.
Yeah.
What about testosterone? We usually think of that as a male hormone.
We do, but it's vital for women, too. It's the hormone of drive, energy, motivation, muscle mass, libido.
And the source material calls its decline devastating for self-esteem.
It really can be. That loss of libido isn't just physical. It impacts relationships, confidence. The fatigue isn't just being tired. It's like your spark has gone out. The apathy.
Yeah.
But again, there's hope in targeted approaches. Research shows that careful, supervised use of testosterone therapy can really help. One study found it improved intimacy and energy levels in 7 out of 10 women who were struggling post-menopause.
So 7 out of 10 is pretty good odds.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to the brain fog, that feeling of walking into a room and completely forgetting why.
Yes. That's often the hypothalamus, your brain's thermostat and regulator, getting confused by the erratic estrogen signals. It's like the control center is getting static.
Right.
So it misfires, causing hot flashes, but also impacting cognitive function, memory, focus. It's reassuring, in a way, to know that around 70% of women go through this. Your brain is literally in reform, trying to adapt.
Okay, so the chaos has a scientific explanation. That helps. But how do we actually start managing it? Where do we bring in the order?
The first, most fundamental place, your plate. What you eat. You simply cannot keep eating the way you did in your 20s or even 30s.
Why not? What's changed so drastically?
Your whole internal landscape. Your metabolism naturally slows down. Your cells become more resistant to insulin, which makes it harder to manage blood sugar and easier to store fat, especially around the middle.
Ah, the dreaded menobelly.
Exactly. And low-grade inflammation tends to creep in system-wide, leading to fatigue, achy joints, brain fog. It's all connected.
So it's not about just slashing calories then?
Definitely not. That often backfires, stresses the body more. The key is eating with, let's call it biochemical intelligence.
Biochemical intelligence. Okay, unpack that.
It means choosing foods not just for calories, but for the messages they send to your hormones and your cells. We want foods that calm inflammation, support hormone balance, and provide the right nutrients.
Okay, so who are the nutritional heroes here? What should we be eating more of?
Let's talk key allies. First up, ground flaxseed. Golden flaxseed specifically.
Flaxseed, okay. Why?
It's packed with lignans. These are plant compounds that act like very mild phytoestrogens. They can gently help buffer some of those wild hormonal swings. And importantly, clinical trials show they can actually reduce hot flashes.
Oh, interesting. Gentle help.
Precisely. Then there's maca root, often called maca peruana. This is an adaptogen.
Adaptogen, meaning it helps you adapt.
Exactly. It doesn't directly add hormones, but it helps strengthen your adrenal system, your stress response system. When that's stronger, you generally have better energy, better mental clarity, and it can support libido, which often takes a hit when you're stressed and tired.
Makes sense. What else?
Cruciferous vegetables are non-negotiable. Think broccoli, kale, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts.
The ones people either love or hate.
Yeah. But they are powerhouses. They contain compounds like sulforaphane that fire up your liver's detox pathways. This helps your body process and clear out used-up estrogen metabolites, the stuff you don't want hanging around, potentially increasing risk for certain cancers later on.
So like a daily detox built into your wedgies.
Kind of, yeah. Then omega-3 fatty acids, absolutely crucial.
From fish.
Yep, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or a good quality supplement. Omega-3s are potent anti-inflammatories, especially for your brain and joints. They help stabilize mood, fight that systemic inflammation, and even improve your insulin sensitivity.
Okay, good all-rounder. Any less common ones?
Yes, one that's mentioned is yam, or inheme. It contains something called diosgenin. This is interesting. It's like a natural precursor substance your body can potentially use to help make its own steroid hormones. It's also often linked to reducing that annoying bloating and water retention.
Never heard of that one for menopause. Okay, so those are the allies. What are the enemies? The saboteurs, as the source calls them. Things to avoid.
Right. Some things seem healthy but can actually make things worse during this phase. Top of the list, processed stuff that spikes your blood sugar.
Like white bread, sugary juices.
Exactly. Those cause insulin surges, which contribute to fat storage, energy crashes, anxiety, even cravings. Also, artificial sweeteners, they can mess with your gut microbiome, which is intricately linked to hormone balance and mood.
What about soy? We hear conflicting things.
Good question. The issue seems to be mostly with highly processed soy, like soy protein isolates, or taking high doses of isolated isoflavones. Whole fermented soy like tempeh might be okay in moderation for some, but the processed stuff can sometimes interfere unpredictably with your natural hormone balance. Better to focus on things like flax.
Got it. So the takeaway message for food.
Here's the gold tip from the material. Think of food as information. Every single bite sends a biochemical message to your body. Is that message saying inflame, or is it saying regenerate? Your choice really dictates your energy, your mood, your resilience in this phase.
Inflame or regenerate. That's powerful. Okay, so diet is step one. What about supplements? Are they necessary?
Increasingly, yes. Not as magic pills, but as tools of metabolic precision.
Precision tools. Okay.
Right.
Why more necessary now?
Couple of reasons. First, our nutrient absorption tends to get less efficient as we age. Second, the sheer metabolic demand of this hormonal shift is huge. Your body needs more support. Supplements can help fill those gaps with targeted nutrients.
All right, let's talk specifics. The source lists 12 joules, but maybe we can highlight a few key ones, starting with magnesium.
Absolutely. Magnesium is critical. It's involved in over 600 enzymatic reactions in the body. Crucially, it's needed to make GABA, your brain's main calming neurotransmitter.
The mineral of calm.
That's the one. But the form matters. Magnesium glycinate is generally great for anxiety, muscle relaxation, and promoting deeper sleep. Magnesium threonate is special because it crosses the blood-brain barrier more easily, so it's often recommended for focus and memory support.
Okay, glycinate for calm, threonate for cognition. Good distinction. What about energy? That mid-afternoon slump hits hard.
Coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10, often in the ubiquinol form, which is better absorbed. Think of it as the spark plug for your mitochondria, the energy factories in your cells.
And production drops off.
Dramatically after 40. So if you feel that deep cellular fatigue, like your battery is just low, supplementing CoQ10 can help relight that fire.
Makes sense. We mentioned omega-3s for diet, but what about as a supplement? Any specific benefits shown?
Yes, very specific. One study specifically found that the EPA component of omega-3, that's one of the main fatty acids in fish oil, significantly reduced hot flashes by up to 55% in some women.
Wow, 55% just from EPA. That's targeted.
It is. Shows how specific nutrients can have powerful effects.
Okay, what about direct hormone support? DHEA comes up.
DHEA is often called the mother hormone. It's an androgen produced by the adrenals that your body can convert into either testosterone or estrogen, depending on what it needs.
So it's like a flexible building block.
Exactly. It can really help with libido, energy levels, mood, that sense of well-being that often dips. But DHEA is potent. It absolutely must be used under professional guidance with testing to get the dose right, not something to self-prescribe.
Okay, noted. Professional supervision needed. Now, for women really struggling with hot flashes and night sweats, the vasomotor symptoms, is there a natural option? Black cohosh.
Black cohosh is a well-researched traditional herb for exactly that. It seems to work partly by influencing serotonin pathways in the brain, which helps regulate temperature.
Does it work as well as hormone therapy?
One significant study actually found it provided relief similar to low-dose HRT for moderate symptoms, but crucially without the same systemic hormonal effects. So for many, it's a really viable natural strategy for managing the heat.
Good to know. Lastly, the power duo, vitamin D3 and K2. Why both?
Everyone knows D3 is essential for bones, mood, immunity. We get it from the sun, but many are deficient. But K2 is its crucial partner.
How so?
Vitamin D3 helps you absorb calcium, but K2 is like the traffic cop. It directs that calcium into your bones and teeth where you want it and away from your arteries and soft tissues where you don't want it building up.
Ah, so K2 keeps calcium in the right place. Important for heart health too, then.
Absolutely. You need both together for safe and effective bone support.
Okay, that's a solid toolkit diet and targeted supplements. But the sources emphasize it's not just about what you ingest. Movement is huge.
Non-negotiable, one chapter title really says it all. Movement as medicine.
Why is it medicine specifically in this phase?
Because we're fighting against several natural declines. Muscle mass starts to decrease sarcopenia, bone density drops, raising osteoporosis risk significantly. Collagen production slows down, affecting skin and joints. Movement is the most powerful signal you can send to your body to counteract all of that.
So just going for a walk isn't enough.
Walking is great, but you need more targeted stuff. The prescription is clear. Strength training. At least 3 times a week. Lifting weights, using resistance bands, body weight exercises. This is critical for maintaining bone density and muscle mass, which also keeps your metabolism fired up.
Okay, strength training is mandatory. What else?
Things like yoga or Pilates are fantastic. They help with flexibility, core strength, but also, importantly, with balancing the nervous system, reducing stress hormones, which can wreak havoc during this time.
And what about cardio?
Yes, but maybe smarter cardio. Short bursts of high-intensity interval training, HIIT. It's incredibly efficient for fat burning, boosts mood by releasing dopamine, and doesn't require hours in the gym.
Right, get it done quickly and effectively. So movement tackles the body. What of the mind? We talked about the brain being in reform.
Yes, and when those hormones fluctuate, the brain sends out SOS signals that brain fog, the memory lapses, feeling overwhelmed.
So how do we support the brain through this reform process naturally?
Top priority, protect your sleep. We mentioned magnesium glycinate. Glutamine can also help calm the nervous system before bed. And basic sleep hygiene, cutting out blue light from screens an hour or two before bed, makes a huge difference.
Simple but effective.
Totally. Another really interesting natural strategy is grounding or earthing. Literally just spending 10-15 minutes with your bare feet on grass, sand, or soil.
Really? How does that help?
The idea is it helps stabilize your body's bioelectrical charge by connecting with the Earth's natural negative charge. Sounds a bit out there, maybe, but research suggests it can lower cortisol, reduce inflammation, and calm the nervous system. Worth a try.
Can't hurt. And food for the brain.
Yes. Feed your brain the building blocks for serotonin and dopamine. Protein is key, especially sources rich in tryptophan like turkey or eggs. Also things like dark chocolate, in moderation, bananas. Foods that support those feel-good neurotransmitters.
Okay, good practical tips. Now, before we wrap up the physical aspects, the sources touch on appearance, on beauty and rejuvenation. There's a contrast drawn.
Right. Between approaches that paralyze and approaches that stimulate. On one side, you have injectables like Botox. Effective for wrinkles short-term, sure. But the concern raised is that by paralyzing the muscle long-term, it could potentially lead to muscle atrophy, making the skin look weaker or saggier over time.
Okay, so a potential downside there. What's the alternative?
Biostimulators. These are different. Things like polyallolactic acid. They don't freeze anything. Instead, they work by stimulating your own body to produce more collagen.
Working with the body.
Exactly. Studies show these can boost natural collagen production by a really significant amount, like up to 66%. The philosophy is about nourishing the skin's structure from within, supporting it with nutrients like vitamin C, glutamine, maybe collagen peptides, rather than just freezing the surface.
A more regenerative approach. Makes sense.
You're wrong.
Okay, one last thing mentioned was something called bioresonance. How does that fit in?
Bioresonance. It's an interesting integrative therapy. It comes at it from a slightly different angle, an energetic or electromagnetic one.
Energy.
Yeah. The premise, recognized as a complementary therapy by the WHO, is that our body functions as an electromagnetic field. Imbalances, like inflammation or anxiety or hormonal issues, disrupt this field. Bioresonance uses specific frequencies, sometimes delivered remotely, to gently nudge the body's systems back towards balance and coherence.
So it's supporting the body's internal communication system.
That's a good way to put it. It's looking beyond just the chemical reactions to the underlying energetic communication, aiming to restore harmony at that level. It complements the biochemical work we do with diet and supplements.
Fascinating. Okay, I think we've really covered the territory here. We've gone from the why, the hormonal mechanics, to the how, the practical strategies across food, supplements, movement, mind, even beauty.
Yeah, the whole picture, understanding the science, implementing that biochemical intelligence, embracing movement, calming the mind, it really is a roadmap for a kind of rebirth.
So pulling it all together, what's the big takeaway?
I think the most profound message is that the mature woman doesn't lose power in this phase. She learns to wield it differently, with more wisdom, more strategy. It demands intelligence and precision, yes, but the reward is navigating this transition, not just by getting through it, but by emerging stronger, healthier, and, dare I say, with class and good humor.
I love that. Class, strength, and good humor.
Uh-huh.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means you're absolutely not at the end of the line.
Not even close.
You're potentially at the start of the most powerful, most discerning version of yourself, your best years. They aren't necessarily behind you. They could be starting right now, with you finally equipped with the knowledge to take command.